Alright, this is what I would like to do today. I got a little bit of time. I would like to take this engine off. The engine runs good. It's a Tecumseh. I think it's a 5 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a 5. No, there's nothing on it. But I think it's a 5 horsepower. So what I would like to do is take that motor, but I'll verify it through the serial number. I'd like to take that motor off because it's a flathead, and you can't really find performance parts for them if I wanted to do something with. This motor is a 5.5. I forgot where I got this thing from, but it's a 5.5. They all basically clones. It's like a Briggs and Stratton. Then you got the Predators. Then you got the Honda. They all basically the same design. This is a 5.5. That might be a 5.5 also. I don't remember, but that thing had some punch. I had that on the mini bike over there. And that thing, with just a centrifugal clutch, when you hit the throttle, the front end would come up off the ground. That thing was fun. But anyway, I got that motor off of a pressure washer, I think. And yeah, I got that motor off of a pressure washer and put it in there. That's a 3 or 3.5. That one fit a whole lot better, and it's safer with that engine in it. So I prefer that engine in there. But yeah, I think. See, I know that one works, so I might put that one. We'll see. I might put that one in it. Because again, I know that one works. There. All right, this used to be I think it was a 1-inch. I think that was the size. But anyway, this used to be the bigger shaft. But what I did was, with the engine running, I just held a file on it and just kept measuring it. Held the file on it, measure it until I got the diameter down. Then I had to cut this in there. That looks sloppy, but it works. Yeah, that's how I had it on the mini bike. See, fits on there. But let's get that cleaned up. I think it needs to go all the way back some more. That wasn't far enough. I'm gonna hit it with some sandpaper and put some grease on there. That way when I need to get it off, I can get it off easy. This cat would, I tell you. Oh, that spider web. It's been sitting there for a while. So now what I gotta do is I gotta take this throttle plate off and install this one. I got this one off of this engine. See, this engine was off of I think it was a pressure washer. So you can actually control the speed, right? This one was off of a generator. This one was one set speed. There was no way to adjust the speed. See, this looks similar to that one, except this one has a throttle arm. And you can mount the throttle cable right here to pull against this. See, there's a hole right there. So I'm going to remove that plate and install this plate. This carburetor is actually off of a Tecumseh. I ordered this carb because I think the carb that I had on here, the initial carb, I forgot what I did with that thing. But I ended up putting a carburetor from a small, a Robin, I think. No, a Honda 5 horsepower, but it was too small for this engine. I don't know why, but it was too small for this engine. So I ended up taking it off and putting this Tecumseh carburetor on. And this is a carburetor that when you hit it, when this engine was on the mini bike, when you hit it, the front wheel, I mean, even if you were leaning forward, the front wheel would come off the ground. That thing was too much fun. All right. Dangerous, but it was a lot of fun. All right, so I'm about to pull that plate off and put this plate on. That one's off. I'll have to put that one on. All right, so again, that one is off. The one with no throttle control from the generator and the one with throttle control from a pressure washer is now on. So now I could use the governor, see? So now springs control the throttle. Right now that's at full throttle. I'm gonna bend that rod to get more, but right now that's at full throttle. See, this can't go any farther. That's it, that's full tilt. And you can adjust it with this spring right here. You move it in or out. I don't think this is for RPM. If this is RPM, that's a 5. It ain't no way that's 5,000 RPM. Ain't no way. But with this engine, with this overhead valve engine, no, I could bolt stuff on. When I say bolt stuff on, like they have a cone air filter. There's an adapter you could buy that'll bolt on. Well, I don't think he'll bolt to this because again, that's a Tecumseh carburetor. But I have the a carburetor that's supposed to be on there. It's right there. So if I put that carburetor on that engine, I'll be able to use a cone filter. But you know me, I could mod something up because it's gonna need a filter anyway. But I forgot what filter I used on this thing. I got so much mismatched stuff. I think I got a fuel tank there. I think I'm gonna use that fuel tank. I don't like the fuel tank that's on that thing. All right, I got the throttle hooked up. I got the kill switch hooked up, which is the most important thing. I'm gonna use this gas tank temporarily. I don't like that tank up there because it shakes something crazy. Oh, it's flooding. Look at the color of that gas. That's the gas coming out there. But let me tap it and stop it from flooding. The float is probably stuck, but we're gonna get it straight and then I'll start it up real fast, do a test run of the engine. All right, it started on the third pull after I gave it some choke. Once it started, I've turned the fuel back on. It stopped flooding, so that means the float bowl was just stuck. That's what I thought. Let's see if the throttle works. All right, throttle works. Now let's see if the kill switch works. Nice. All right, so the kill switch works, throttle works. Choke. So now I have an engine with overhead valves, a better looking muffler. Much quieter than that thing. That thing was loud. And again, I love that I have the governor. I like governors. I like governors. Again, that engine is off. I don't know, that might be an 8 horsepower. It's either a 5 or 8. This is about the size of a 212. It looks like a 5 horsepower. But you know what? That might be a 5. Anyway, let me bolt it down properly. One of the bolts is loose. Let me get the drive belt assembly on. Then we'll do a test run. All right, the belt is on. The chain is tensioned properly. There's a chain right there. The belt there for the torque converter. I had to cut the keyway on the shaft a little bit farther in towards the engine. But it's smooth as heck. This engine is much smoother than that one, much quieter. But let's take it for a test drive. This is gonna be the first run. Let me take this glove off. All right, the glove is off. take it for its first run with the new engine. Oh, yes. Okay, just that little run, I can tell you right now, that engine is way smoother. Way smoother. I prefer this one. Just from that little run. So, let's turn it off. And let's try to get this tank off. There's one screw, just one nut and bolt from the headrest holding the tank there, but it's also spot welded. Well, 3 tacks, 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna have to grind that off. We gotta be careful because there's gas in it. But the throttle works good. All right, I went ahead and removed that Tecumseh gas tank. And I found the gas tank that was originally on this motor. It was a Coleman PowerMate 3,750 watt generator. So I'm going to do some research and see what horsepower that engine is. But that engine feels a whole lot more responsive than that one. But then again, that's overhead valve and that's a flathead, so that could be why. Again, this engine is much more quieter, easier to pull, but then again it has a decompression lobe. I think it's on the intake. All these engines are set up. But I put some sea foam in the tank. Hopefully that'll help clean up the carburetor the rest of the way, because I don't want to have to take the carburetor apart. I'm being lazy today. So now I just need to adapt some type of air filter to that carburetor. Might use this one. We'll see.